everyone. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He'd let us in, knows where we've been, in an octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see me in an octopus's garden with me. Like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. In an octopus's garden in the shade. Hey everyone, guess what I got in the mail this week? This is my second WOODI plastic ukulele. I have one at the office, but I got a real surprise from WOODI USA this week when I got this beautiful yellow WOODI Soprano plastic ukulele, which I call my Banana Yellow Sunshine ukulele. I love this instrument. Well, some of you might have seen my other videos on my review that I did on my other WOODI ukulele, but I really like this one. Well, first things off, well, it came in a nice little box, all boxed up, plastic, with little plastic to wrap it in, and a new feature that you have on this ukulele. It comes with a low G string. Now it's metal wound, as you could see, metal wound, and it was placed right here. It came all set up, but I took it off because I don't know, I like my instruments to have high G's, and also because of the fact that it's a plastic instrument, plastic frets, plastic nuts, so when you tighten up the tension, well, I'm afraid it might wear down the very thin frets, which I'll come back to in a minute. But that was a nice touch of them, of including a low G string. But they've included the other string with it, so I was able to replace it. Okay, first thing off, that I noticed that it's a beautiful finish. It's very, very, very smooth to the touch, like highly polished. And what I really like about it, I find it to be flawless construction. By flawless, I mean that there's nothing wrong with the instrument when you look at it. There's no glue spills anywhere. Everything is well made. It's actually I call that great attention to details, as you would see in higher end, more expensive soprano instruments. Now, keep in mind that this is a plastic uke. Plastic ukes are made for fun. They're made to travel. They're made to bring with you for a picnic at the office. Like I said, I keep my other one at the office where when I got a minute, I just want to relax, I just can play. Not too loud, but just enough that it relaxes me. And here's what I like about it. It's got a pretty solid construction, fairly lightweight, and it's the sides and back are one piece. It's molded one piece, and so is the neck. So is the neck, back and side, and top of the neck. Here, the headpiece is one piece. Now, what's glued on? You got the top that's glued on, you got the rosette that's glued on, and the bridge is glued on. But also, a nice feature that they thought about it is that the bridge, I don't know if you'll be able to see, is grooved into the sound table, into the top, so that any pull will not pull out, any tension from the strings will not pull out the bridge. The bridge, like any uke, always moves slightly forward, but that's as far as it's going to go. Another nice feature that they've incorporated that was also in the other uke that I have, the plastic uke from WOODI, is that you can't really see that, but there's actually 9 little bars or little sticks of plastic underneath the bridge, which are molded into the top, and for to carry the sound, and also to prevent the bridge and the top from moving on forward or lifting. So that's a really great design that's in the WOODI. They have the saddle is not adjustable. but it does the job quite well. Now, many say that the action is too high, could be lower, but keep in mind this is a plastic ukulele, and if they had to design something that'd be perfect, well, okay, the action may be lower, but what if it moves for one reason or another? You wouldn't be able to adjust it anymore. So the safe thing to do for a company is make it a little higher, so that way there's no problem. But I mean, you'll find that you, like any instrument that you own or that I own in my little collection, each soprano ukulele has a personality of its own, and it takes an adaptation for each instrument that you play. Each instrument needs to be approached in a different manner, and that's fine. That's the way it is. And okay, so moving right along. Like I said, everything is nice and smooth, nice finish, color is beautiful. The little rosette here is a nice touch. It does the finish, a little finishing touch around the sound hole quite nicely. Sometimes it may get a little bit in the way, a tiny bit, if you finger pick, if you finger pick over the sound hole, but if you move like a bit on the side, that's not a problem. And one thing I can say, okay, the top is one piece with the fretboard with the top of the headstock. And you will notice something very special on the WOODI USA that you find on not very many ukuleles, and that is they have much smaller frets that you usually find on most ukuleles. The gauge is thinner and it's narrower, which means a lot easier to glide up and down the neck. You don't get stuck on the frets. It's very nice in that sense. And you find out on other ukuleles, like for example, I got Kiwaya, 2 Kiwaya Sopranos, and they also make their frets very small, and I think that's real smooth, real nice action. One thing that you'll probably ask, what is this thing here? This nut? There's a nut there, and there seems to be another nut over here. You're right, but it's not exactly a nut. It's a 0 fret. Now, 0 frets, they would call them 0 fret instruments. 0 fret instruments were designed. They would add this fret in order to lower the action, in order to have better intonation on smaller scale string instruments, such as this one, for example. You used to see that a lot more back in the older days. Now you don't see this as much, but I think WOODI decided to incorporate the the 0 fret to make sure that the intonation would be spot on, and I think it's pretty darn good. Maybe not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. So that's good enough for me. Another thing that you notice, the neck itself is shaped like any other neck that you would find on other ukuleles. Not as thin as, like for example, Kiwaya makes them a lot thinner than that. I like that, but not very many do. But it's fairly thin and very comfortable at the same time. They've added the WOODI logo, which I think is a nice touch. It's beautiful. I don't know if you could see it very well. WOODI USA. The headpiece, the top of it is like a crown, which I think is a nice little touch. I love the head gears, the tuning gears, and as you could see, I don't know, they look nice. They're designed. They got little ridges inside of them. They look, you got this vintage look. They're well designed, you know, everywhere. Little lines here, little lines there. They're nice to look at, and most of all, that's important, is that they function really well. When you tune your instruments, they're pretty spot on when you tune the instrument, each strings. Now, I love the black buttons too. I think it's a nice contrast with the ukulele itself, with the yellow ukulele. They've added also little dots on the fretboard, so you could find out where you are on the fretboard, which did not have these on the first batch. This is their second batch of plastic ukuleles. In their first batch, they had so many different designs. If you had a chance to look at the WOODI site, you'll find that they have, I I don't know, maybe 20 models of different designs, and they decided to come out with I don't know how many, I forgot to count, maybe 10 different colored ukuleles. Some of these ukuleles come in purple, some in blue, some in green, some in red, like cherry red. You know, they're really nice, really nice. They're decorative, and most of all, they play well. So that's about it. And what I like about it is they can be brought just about anywhere. And unlike higher end instruments, which are all solid wood, you don't have to worry about humidity control, air conditioning. Leave it out in the car. Well, maybe not since it's 140 degrees. It might melt, I don't know. But you could carry it outside around a fire camp. No problem, you know. And they're not that expensive. For what you're getting, they're not that expensive. Well, they come in this little box, and all you need to do is tune the strings and get going. Now, one thing I must mention, as you notice, it has a very mellow sound. Many of you will like a mellow sound. Now, I like that too for some songs, but I prefer a clearer, brighter sounding soprano. So, to help this out, I'm most likely going to change the strings to some fluorocarbon strings. Martin makes these, and also I've got Ken Middleton's Living Water strings on my Kiwayas, and they do a really great job at brightening up the sound of the instrument. So I'll give you a little sound sample. Here goes. I like to be under the sea, an octopus's garden in the shade. He'll let us in, knows where we've been, in an octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see me, octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea, an octopus's garden in the shade, in an octopus's garden in the shade. And a little bit of finger picking, a little Simon Garfunkel tune. So there you have it. There you have it, the yellow plastic WOODI USA ukulele. Go get yourself one, and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching.